Hey friends, this is Coach Rose AJ with Miss Brenda as my co-host today. We're coming to catch up with each other first and foremost. And secondly, we want to talk to you guys about Carnivore Plus a little bit more for women that are over the age of 50. But guys, I am 57. Do you guys remember how old Miss Brenda is? Or how young she is, I should say. Do you want to share, Miss Brenda?
Sure, I'm 65, but in December I'll be 66. So, yeah, that's creeping up on me, and I'm okay with that. I think I'm
I
I'm
know
getting
that's
better with time. So,
And the reason why I wanted to start off the call as a reminder of how young or how beautiful or how we are aging is because the importance of these calls and Brenda and I connecting is because we're over 50 for number
mhm.
one, and we are carnivores for number two. But there's also something that we want to talk about other than some new things that are going on in our lives. So, Brenda, could you go ahead and catch us last couple of weeks what's been going on? Because I know, for one thing, you've had a trip and I've had a trip. So maybe we can begin there.
Okay. Well, just this past weekend I went down to Alabama. So I have family down there. My dad lives down there with my stepsister and her family. And when I talk about family, he lives in the house that my stepsister and her husband have. But there's family all around there that help take care of my dad. And I really got to see that this weekend. So I'm up here taking care of my mom. I don't have her in my home, but she's in an adult family home. She's been in and out of the hospital, and she's got hospice care going on right now. But so that's my biggest responsibility right now, I guess. And then my dad is down in Alabama, and I thought, gosh, I need to go see him. And they decided to have a 60th birthday party celebration for my sister, who's taking care of my dad. So I thought, well, I have to go. So that was really nice. It was just, I left Friday, came back Sunday, but had a great time with them. Yeah, a lot of travel time, but it was so worth it to really get to spend good time with them and celebrate my lovely sister, Sandy. She's amazing, and her family. They do so much for my dad. So I really got to see that and see where they're living and what they do and all this stuff, but had a great time celebrating. That was really great to be a part of that celebration. And I'll tell you one thing about that was they knew I ate differently. So she asked me, she wasn't sure how I ate or what it was the day before. She says, "What do you drink?" And I said, "Well, flat water, plain water, seltzer water, sparkling water." And so she was like, "Okay." And then, "What about breakfast?" And I said, "Bacon or meat, eggs, and butter. So anything in there." It's like, "Okay." So my brother, my stepbrother, he lives right around the corner from them, or down the road, I should say. There's no corners. It doesn't seem like it's just down the road. Um, he came over and cooked breakfast for everyone that was in the house Saturday. There was a bunch of people in the house, and he came over and cooked uh, bacon, sausage, hash browns, which of course I didn't have, the eggs and toast and all the stuff. But I was happy to have, a great carnivore breakfast. And that was great. The rest of the time, I was able to have what I could find something for me, but it was interesting to see all the different beverages and lots of alcohol for one thing, and sodas, a lot of sodas, and a lot of other food that it was, but I was always able to find something for me, and they were, you know, very kind to make sure is there something you can eat. So that went fine. Yeah.
Wow, it sounds like a whirlwind of a trip
It was.
and very exciting to have a celebration birthday as well as to visit
Mhm.
with your family, kind of like a reunion,
Yes.
right? Yes.
Yeah.
So you did some quick traveling. You're my
Yeah.
kind of girl. That's what I like
Yeah.
to do. Just get in, hit it hard, and then bounce back out. And I love that they were really receptive to your way of life as far as your
Hmm.
eating and nutrition.
Hmm.
And did you get tempted by anything, or were there any food pushers that tried to say, have some, it'll be okay? Or were they really respectful of your boundaries around food?
They were perfectly fine with that. Of course, they offered me, "Do you want cake?" Because they had cake, and no, thanks. But that was fine. And they didn't try to push anything on me. It was really good that way, and nothing tempted me. Actually, most of that stuff I look at as toxic anyway. So but I don't say that to them because I don't want to offend anyone. I don't, but I did press one person who was talking about, yeah, I'm borderline diabetic and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, and he was kind of confessing that he knows he should think about some things, and then yet he had a Mountain Dew for breakfast. I'm like, I
Okay.
said, well, what are you
Okay.
doing drinking Mountain Dew? And he said, well, it's diet. I just said,
Oh.
okay, whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes people just don't know, or
They
they're
and
so ingrained in their way of life,
yes,
and we're all responsible for ourselves. And at
exactly.
least you pose the question, right? You pose the
Yes.
question, and maybe he will consider
Yes.
a different way of
Yes.
doing things. If
Right.
not anything, not if not everything, at least that one thing.
Yeah, and
Consider
one
that.
one little seed planted can, grow. We just don't know how that goes, but that it could blossom into more things. So I felt comfortable challenging him without him feeling like I was being critical at all. I was just asking him a question and with a little
Yes.
laugh too. But I also want to say on my travels, I was really grateful. I came loaded with carnivore bars and carnivore snacks. I also had made up some meatloaf at home that I ate at the airport at SeaTac before I took off.
Okay.
Ate that at the airport, and then throughout the weekend I had some carnivore bars and carnivore snacks. But on the way back, I had to leave from DC, and I happened to notice a Five Guys. And I said, "Oh, burger patties." So I went over there, and it took a minute for the person to understand what I wanted. But I got a cheeseburger with two extra patties in a foil bowl, and that was perfect for the trip back because it was almost a 6 hour flight. So I brought that with me for the flight home. That was perfect. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. Burgers, I mean, I eat them almost every day anyway, hamburger patties, but those are the ultimate best go-tos. Even from
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's, anywhere that you can get a burger is better
Yep.
than, some other alternatives. October the 18th and 19th, I went down to San Diego, Brenda, and I did an event down there, a 5K obstacle course. And I
Yes.
love challenges. I love challenges. We were actually on the Marine Corps Depot, their training grounds, or that. And it was beautiful. The weather was just extremely like 90 degrees, maybe 85,
Mm,
90
nice.
degrees. Walked everywhere and stayed in Old Town. And a friend came with me, but she didn't do the event. She did her own thing, and I did my own thing. And I have to say that eating down there was a challenge, but
Oh.
I made do because we weren't where there were like the Five Guys and all that good stuff, the kind of like restaurants that I could just pop into and say, give me 6 or 8 hamburger patties, slather some cheese on them. And the grocery stores weren't there. It was in a touristy area, but it wasn't really accessible to food that I would normally get if I were in a bigger city. But I made do. My digestive tract was not happy with me, let's put it that way. But it is what it is, and I had a great time. Travel really does impact our overall quality of life if we're not
Mhm.
prepared, right? If we're not
Right.
prepared. But with that catching up, Brenda, I do want to talk to you a little bit about one of the other reasons that we're here. So, have you done anything new? Because I think it's been 4 or 5 weeks since we actually had a conversation. Have you tried anything new, whether it's meditation or maybe a new program, new since we've last conversated into your regimen or that you'd like to
Well,
share?
I decided with this time of year, it was time to do the saunas again. I haven't been really regular on them, but you inspired me when you did a post and mentioned the sauna blanket, and I was like, yeah. So I did we have an in-home sauna, dry sauna, and yeah, really nice. We don't use it as much as we should, but I did use it before my trip, and I planning on getting in there tonight. I'm going to try for at least once a week, but really I'd like to do it more than once a week. It felt really good to do
Good.
that. So that's one
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
That's beautiful, beautiful. So, with me, everything is the same as far as my daily routines, working out, micro workouts, and the whole nine. But because I used to work out at Hot Works, I was working out in a sauna. I don't know if you remember me sharing that with you, cycling in 130-degree sauna. So you
Wow.
could set the temperature from 80 to 130. So even in the summer, I was like spinning in 100, but I love it. I love heat, right?
Wow.
And so I was having a conversation with someone, and she was telling me about her sauna blanket and stuff. And I'm like, ding, 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 ding. It reminded me years before going to Hot Works, I actually had a sauna blanket that I used religiously because I'm always cold. So I
Mm,
went back to Amazon and ordered one, and I've been doing it every day. I'm trying to do it pretty much 45 days a week because it does take a little time, right?
yeah.
And
Mhm.
then, you get in there, get all warm, fall asleep, then you got to get up and get in the shower, put on warm clothes again. But anyway, so that's what's new my way. Check in with you about what kind of brought us together to have this conversation, among other things that we're sharing, which is the silent night patches that I was having
Mhm.
difficulty with. I know you remember me talking about my hair, talking about my nails, talking about makeup, things that I had given up, especially coffee as of July 23rd. And I was thinking that removing coffee permanently from my dietary protocol would help me eventually to get better sleep. But I've
Mhm.
never been a good sleeper.
Mhm.
And then you had introduced LifeWave patches at our last carnivore meetup in September. And if
Mhm.
you could give us like a 30-second overview,
Okay.
what they are and what type of therapy they are and what they are not. And then I will give my experience with silent night patches specifically.
Okay. Sure. The LifeWave patches, the flagship product that's the superstar of the last 4 years since it came out is the X39 patch, and it's a form of phototherapy. Phototherapy is similar to what the sun does, hits your skin and causes your body to respond and do things internally. Well, the patch, the X39 patch has a lattice structure of nanocrystals, amino acids, proteins, and things like that that are in this sealed patch. You put it on your body for 12 hours and then toss it after that. And you do this on a daily basis. What that patch does is it's like a mirror, but a very intricate mirror that reflects light in your body and communicates electronically with your body. And it elevates a copper peptide that we all have naturally. And it elevates those copper peptides, and those copper peptides, GHKCU copper peptides, go off and activate stem cells. Stem cells, what do? Well, they heal your body. They're what we're all born with, so many stem cells that cause us to grow and grow and grow, and then when we're done growing, they start to decline. So when we're about 30 years old, about half of our stem cells are active, the rest are dormant, and then about the time you're 60 or so, you may have 10% or less that are active and the rest are dormant. So you don't lose your stem cells. They just go dormant. So what this patch does ultimately is it activates those stem cells, and those stem cells will go off and start healing your body internally, and it can be pretty amazing what they can do.
And along with that, your disclaimer.
Yes, and the patches do not. So there's no diagnosing, treating, or curing specific diseases or autoimmune disorders, things like that. It's just that helps your body to heal itself.
I was so intrigued after the conversation, Brenda, in September that I saw you, I think, on Instagram a couple of times or Facebook discussing the patches and whatnot. And then I was like, well, I just need to go do my own research. And so I went to the website and I watched the videos that they had and some other YouTubers separate from you and your team and whatnot. And the consensus is that it's a great product that
Mhm.
helps you in your overall life. So what I did was I signed up to become a brand partner, and I wanted to try this product for at least 60 days before saying, hey world, this is what it's all about. So I got a 60-day supply, guys, and this is what happened. I think I was overly focused with trying to get better sleep, that it kind of backfired, right? So I'm the type of person that goes to bed at 10:30 generally every night, and I'm up between 4 and 4:30 without an alarm, right? So even though that's like 6 hours of laying down time, my sleep time prior to starting Silent Night patches was averaging maybe 4.5 to 5 hours of sleep. Because by the time I'd go to bed, lay my head down, it still took a little bit to go to sleep, but I'd get up and go to the bathroom because I drink a lot of water before going to
Mhm.
bed. Yeah, whatever, right? So my first night using the sleep night patch, I don't know what had happened, but I felt good. It was like sleep was yummy, like I was tasting sleep, right? The second night, which was a Friday, Brenda, I have to tell you, I was trying too hard, I believe, that it literally backfired. Then the third night, which was a Saturday night, I was just like, whatever, we're just going to do what we do. And ever since then, I can tell you, I went back on my Aura Ring so I could get really, really good data, because the Aura Ring is it's very precise and it gives a lot of detailed information. Whereas I was using Auto Sleep, an Auto Sleep app that works with my Apple Watch, and I used that history prior to signing up with Aura again for the monthly thing to get the data. And I was averaging the 5.5 hours consistently. So I have that data from Auto Sleep. And now, can you guess what my average night's sleep is? Just take a wild guess.
6 hours?
Okay, so I'm going
That
to
is
give
that
you the lowdown. I'm going to give you the
okay?
lowdown because I've written it down.
Okay.
So on September 9th through October the 5th, my sleep score was 84, which is unheard of, because when I can look back on my other, Aura Ring information and compare it, it was more like in the 60s and 70s, right?
Oh.
So yeah, so I had a sleep score week one of 84. Total sleep average was 6 hours and 39 minutes, and my activity score was 95, which activity is never going to be a problem ever. October 6th, the second week, October the 6th through the 12th, the sleep score was 80. The average was 6 hours and 19. Activity was 97. Week three, October 13th through 19th, the sleep score dropped, and I'm going to tell you why. It dropped to 79. The average sleep was 5 hours, 56 minutes. The activity score was 96. So I traveled 2 full days. And when I say
Oh.
2 full days on that Friday, Saturday, I literally woke up at like 3 in the morning, hit the ground running, caught an AM flight, flew down, got virtually no sleep that Friday night, went
Mhm.
straight into the event, stayed up, and I didn't get to bed until Sunday morning. after
Mm-hmm.
returning home until 2 a.m. Then I had to get up at 6 a.m. and me and my daughter and granddaughters went to Vashon Island. So it took me a few days.
Wow.
So that's why it dropped that much. I know
Mhm.
specifically why. October 20th, week 4 through 26, the sleep score went back to 81. Average sleep time is 6 hours and 30 minutes. And then my activity score is 96. So this is what I'm going to tell you guys. I love this product. And actually, I've forgotten a couple of times to take it off. And I'm going to tell you why, because there's different points on your body that you can apply the patch, and they give you very clear directions on where to put them. It can be on your foot. I mean, on
Mm-hmm.
the top of your foot. It can be in your forehead or on the side of your eye or behind your ear. Now, this is
Mm-hmm.
my problem. When it's behind my ear, I pay no attention because I shower at night now, right? Because it's
Uh,
the wintertime. I shower at night and getting dressed. I don't really like look like this. And then, so that's the truth. And I did do the X39 and felt phenomenal. The silent nights, I'm in for the long haul on that,
mm-hmm.
girl. What do you think of the statistics or the data
Yeah,
that I
that's
just shared with
awesome.
you?
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm so glad because that was the key thing you wanted to improve. And I
Yes.
know with X39, I very very many people have been able to improve their sleep with X39. I did not see an improvement on my sleep, but I have a lot of things going on. I think mostly hormonal. So when you told me that you ordered the X39 or the Silent Night patches, I said, maybe I should try that. So I bought those two. And so both my husband and I are using them. And I have found that I sleep much deeper. I'm dreaming so much, and I still wake up like I have a cat who sometimes comes in and wants out before I'm getting up, and he'll wake me up. Then I do have to get up and pee, you know. So, but I
Too.
my wake ups are less, and my sleep is very deep. I know it's very deep. So, and I'm not measuring it or anything, but I just know it's like, yeah, I sleep better with that. And my husband is most of the time as well. So we'll probably continue that. Now I don't know if eventually, I won't need it. I'll probably test it out later. After maybe 6 months on the X39, I'll see how things go. But I want to keep doing the sleep silent nights as well because it our sleep is so important. And I was so glad that you decided to do that. I was surprised and I'm like, oh well, you're focusing on your most important thing to you. And I'm glad that that's working for you.
Yeah, and then like we both say, carnivore, I wish carnivore could support me in all areas of my life,
Mm-hmm.
right? All areas. It's been extremely helpful, but this is like the last piece to make me as magical as I can be to get my sleep on target. And as I've
Mm-hmm.
said previously, I've never been a really good sleeper. I'd rather be up
Mm-hmm.
doing things and all that stuff. And I don't have ADHD or anything like that, but I'd like to live life. But I'm actually taking away from my quality of life as I've learned as I've gotten older if I am not sleeping,
Right.
because that's when the body heals. And speaking of dreams, that's what was crazy about the second night on Silent Nights. I had a dream. I don't know where it came from, but it was like it was almost a nightmare.
Oh.
But comical that my Laniethas, which are my granddaughters, moved in with me, and my house was topsy turvy. It was just chaos in a good way, right? In a
Mm-hmm.
good way. But I haven't had a dream like that since the second night. But I thought it was comical too, like a
Yeah.
nightmare but comedy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I am so hyped for life, you guys. And you guys know that I'm a coach. I'm a carnivore coach, women over 50. But this popped into my head because I have a meetup group that I run, and it's a large amount of women over there. And I was thinking about offering life coaching on that platform online. But I was like, no, I love fitness oh so much. Let me combine the two. So, are you familiar with 75 Hard, Brenda? The
I've
challenge,
heard the
75 hard.
term and that's it. Yeah, that's all.
So essentially what it is you pick a dietary protocol that you're going to follow. So for me and you, it's obviously going to be carnivore. So that's a win-win. And they say you have to drink a gallon of water, but I don't do the gallon of water. Well, I mean, I do that and then some, but because of my body size and activity. But for you, you might settle for 64 ounces. That's adequate for you. So you choose the amount of water you're going to drink. And then they say no alcohol, which I can raise my hand to. No alcohol is a great
Right.
thing. And
Mm-hmm.
then they want you to exercise twice a day, 45-minute workouts at minimum, one indoors, one outdoors. What
Oh.
I say is if you move your body twice a day, and if you're on the couch, the kind of person that works in an office or sits on the couch or who is severely overweight, you decide what your activity is going to be and for how many minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe all you can do is march in place for 2 minutes. Can you commit to that for, twice a day? It's very
Mm-hmm.
reasonable, it's reachable, and it's not overextending yourself. For me and you, it's going to be different, right? So you select your workout, no alcohol, and you take a picture for 75 hard. They want you to take a picture every single day. For
Oh.
me, I say take a picture on day one, take a
Mm-hmm.
day picture on day 21. So
Mm-hmm.
it's what I'm doing is setting the template after 75 hard is what I'm going to do
Mm-hmm.
and be very transparent about that. But oh yeah, and then communication, they say read 10 pages of something every day to learn something new. What I say is listen to something, listen to something, or listen to a podcast, a book, or read something. It doesn't matter what you do in order to have that personal growth. You get to choose, but
Mm-hmm.
instead of doing 10 pages, which might be overwhelming, can you do it for 3 minutes? Can you write in your journal? Can you do whatever you need to do for self growth for 3 minutes? And then I also added the piece about connection,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that we're so separated. We're virtual, we work from home, or we only see our neighbors once in a while. So, connection, can you connect in the comments somewhere? Can you post something online? Can you
Mm-hmm.
go out of your way when you're at the grocery store to hold the door open a couple of times or reach and get a product for someone or say hello to the cashier and be patient enough to say hello, how's your day? Are you having a good week? Whatever it is, to take the time to connect for a couple of minutes each day. Or you can send a text. It's however you choose to connect. So this is what I'm going to do a 21-day life and fitness challenge for women 50 plus. And it's going to start, I think I told you, November 10th through December 1st. And the reason why I want to offer this is because we should all be aspiring to a little bit more. And for us,
Mm-hmm.
that 1% might be all that we need to kind of leverage it, believe in ourselves, and have a community. So it's going to be 21 days for $21 because I want to make you holler. And you're going to get 3 live Zoom coaching calls, group coaching calls, where we're going to come on, talk about how our week's been, how the challenge is going for us, and maybe have some accountability, but also maybe connect to somebody in our neck of the woods or exchange numbers and have support, whatever it is. So that's my mission. And it'll start November the 10th, and I'll open it up on Monday, this upcoming Monday. So this is where we can all kind of like lock arms in a different way. You choose your own dietary protocol and you get support and everything that you need. How does that sound? And it'd be on Monday afternoons at 4 p.m.
It's awesome. I'm in.
Yeah, yeah. No, you are.
Count
No,
me
you
in.
are. All
Yes.
right, love. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me on this. And is there anything that we have not covered that maybe you want to mention or catch up on the airwaves while we're here?
I know last time we talked, I had mentioned the CRD challenge, the circadian rhythm disruption challenge, and that started. And I'm catching up on some bits of it. It's actually very manageable, but I'm going to go back and watch everything very bite size. It's like some 3-minute videos, some are like 7 or 10, but so far they released like a week's of a week of the segment, and then the next week is available. So watch it at your own pace. And I'm finding it very interesting. So maybe next time we talk, I'll give a follow up on what all I learned. But that's been very interesting. I'm learning a lot, and I'll be taking some action from what I'm learning. So maybe I can talk about that next time.
Here, and you know me, I'm pushing, what do we have, 63 days left in the year?
Yes.
So we might as well just go for it. Share at least one thing that you've learned or found interesting from the CRD challenge, maybe to inspire someone.
Okay. So the I had mentioned before that I do my morning light, which is awesome. However, I've come to find out that one of the better things you can do is minimize or reduce ALAN, ALAN. What's ALAN? ALAN is artificial light at night. So it's, yeah, getting rid of the blue light. So they've given many tips on things you can do, but the blue light elevates your cortisol. And when you have elevated cortisol, it's going to suppress the melatonin, which melatonin is not just a nighttime hormone. It's very helpful in many other ways. And so when you suppress elevate the cortisol, cortisol can cause you to gain weight, hold on to weight. Cortisol, it increases your insulin and your glucose. So I'm going to focus more on reducing the artificial light at night. There's some good apps and instructions to tell you how to update your apps and your screens to minimize the blue light. So I haven't done that yet. I just saw that and I said, okay, I have to start doing that. So that's one thing I'm going to do within the next day or two. So
Right
there's more.
on. And then and then you'll have 62 days or 61 days to see how it really pans out. Because I
Sure.
feel in this last quarter of 2024, we can
Mm-hmm.
show how we want to arrive in
Yeah.
2025. Waste no time, right? Waste no
Right.
time at all.
Right.
Right. Think that is brilliant, brilliant. Okay, guys, this is Rose AJ signing out with my co-host Brenda. Thank you for tuning in once again to this edition of Carnivore Plus a little bit more. Until next time. Thanks,
Bye.
guys.